So 25 years looking at the golf swing and teaching golf swing in 25 years, that is. I've been looking at the golf swing for longer than that, to be fair. Feeling very old now. There's two key differences the best drivers of the ball make compared to the rest of the world. So I want to share with you today these two key ingredients that can make a huge difference to your driving. So give these two a go and also let me know in the comments down below how they've made a difference to your game. So the first key ingredient we see with elite drivers to bad drivers of the golf ball is when they swing the golf club back, they tend to get their shoulder working up towards their chin too much and they tend to lose their posture. But the shoulder works on a very what we will call flat plane. What we see with the best drivers of the golf ball is this left shoulder works down towards the golf ball and they keep a sense of tilt in their body. So that tilt is created ideally by a little bit of left bend as they turn. And again, you can really be exaggerated with how much you feel this, okay? But the best golfers in the world will feel this tilt and have this tilt in their swing. When I say feel this tilt, some of them won't know they're doing it. Obviously, it's a very natural movement. How I want you to feel is if you grip the golf club, so one of your hands, your fingers and your hands are just on that kind of shaft of the golf club. Take your address position to the ball. Feel like you're a bit more tilted at address. Make a backswing. Feel like your shoulder works down towards the golf ball and past the golf ball. That's the tilt we want to feel. Now to facilitate that, the right hip is going up, the right shoulder is going up. So you could feel it more in your right shoulder than your lead shoulder. That's entirely up to you. But that's the tilt we are looking for in the golf swing. Now the tilt will never be as good with the driver as with an iron. Let's be honest and true about that. But most golfers, the amount it changes is too big. So the best players in the world, the driver swing will still look pretty tilted, pretty controlled, pretty sexy. And that's what we want to do when we hit a golf ball. So really feel you exaggerate that left shoulder to the ground, that tilt or the left bend when you're making the driver swing. That is tip number one, or point number one that I see with the best drivers of the ball compared to the rest of the world. Point number two, head movement. What we see with the good players in the world is the head works well through the golf swing with the driver. It's the only club in the world I would happily have you push back and have your head move back through that hitting zone. All other clubs, the head will be pretty much returning back to its position it starts off. With the driver, I'm happy for it to go back a little bit from that. Because your wider stance and your center of mass is more central or further back from your lead foot, as you push, the head tends to push back. That's what should happen. Now with amateur golfers, most of them don't. And they end up in the finish, it looks a bit like this. Watch the good players, the finish is much more back there. Sometimes the left foot gets unweighted and they even spin out a little bit. Especially the longer hitters will see that happen. We will see that happen. So we really want to feel that we're going to keep our head behind the golf ball with the driver through that hitting zone. This is really important. It helps the sequence. When the head stays back, it allows the lower half to go through and it stops your torso getting forward and on top, and that steepens that plane, gets you cutting across the ball, hitting down on the ball and hitting those fades, pulls and slice shots. We definitely want to feel that we can stay back and try and hit it more from the inside and definitely hit it more on the way up. That is crucial to be a long driver relevant to your speed, okay? Again, the guys who have a lot of speed don't have to hit up on the ball, but generally speaking, 99% of you guys, and me included, we need to hit up on the golf ball to maximize our efficiency. So I've got this rod, and if you look at it here, if I set up to a ball, this rod, and I'll square it up a little bit, is roughly in the center of my stance, okay? It doesn't have to be in the exact position. What I want to do is make sure my eyes at address are kind of on that position at the center of the stance. And then when I hit the golf ball, I want to try and feel that my eyes are still in that position in the center of the stance. So ideal world, tilt on the way back, head stays back on the way through. If we can, feel the pressure shift through the lateral lower half, that is magical. Realistically, keeping the head on that center line is the important thing. So when you play, I'd encourage you to get a spot, let's call it one club head width of a driver, which is pretty big, behind the ball. And let's say you're going to stare at that spot throughout your whole of your downswing. And you're going to try and stay there into your finish as well. Okay? Certainly in practice, happy for you to overdo this and feel like you're a little bit on your back foot when you hit the ball. We do want the pressure to go forward, but we want that to go forward with the lower half and the upper half to be behind and then we'll eventually get through the ball. Let's try one of those. So take my setup as normal, stare at that spot at the end of that rod, make a swing and stay in that spot. And that one there, beautiful little draw, straight down the middle. Really felt like I stayed back a long way. Again, these are things I need to encourage in my golf swing too. I do tend to get a little steep with the shaft in transition, particularly with the driver. So it's a good feel for me to do, and it's a good feel for most of us to do. And certainly, it's a good tablet to take. What I mean by that is, I love you to take vitamins. So vitamins are all about things that influence your golf swing to make you play better and more successfully without going to the range and ripping your swing apart.